Okay, so they're about to do the premiere for the season 4 DLC. It's just me for some reason. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Hold on. Don't worry. I'm not gonna have to wait in this video itself. So let's get to it. But maybe I should unpause it now. Obviously the reaction isn't the most important part, but still. Oh, it is that? It is the Biohazard Frameworks Decontaminator. Oh yeah, they were gonna have to give it a different name. Oh yeah, the paint job. Oh, this is the thing I was worried about. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. Not a bad paint job, actually. For the weapons, I should say. Okay, well, I mean, that's it, right? You know? So yeah, I guess I don't really know what to make of that, because it's like, it's not a bad framework at all. And here's the thing, I was going to say beforehand, I don't think it's going to be the Biohazard framework, because from a paint job perspective, I feel like, it would be... You could make it different to the Biohazard armor paint job, right? That brought with it, the armor and weapon paint job, but that pack brought with it, I should say. You could make it different, but you'd expect it to be similar because it's actually the same theme. It's essentially the framework to match the armor. And for the armor, it's a very, very similar paint job, frankly, and I don't really know why they would do that. And like I said, it's not a bad framework. I'll still buy it. Obviously, it's not a bad framework at all. And I like the paint job too. Actually, as in the weapon paint job, if I can find it, was pretty good. Where is it? Yeah. What? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the weapon paint job. Yeah, I mean, here it is, I guess. That's not a bad weapon paint job at all. At the same time, it's kind of just like the colours of the splattered weapon paint job as well. So yeah, I'm really not sure what to make of this. I'm not particularly... I can't say I'm impressed. I can't say it's bad either. It's still decent cosmetics I'm willing to pay for. So I will. But in general, yeah, it's not the most impressive thing I've seen, to be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. That's okay, because it's like I wasn't expecting something completely different. I'm not surprised that it's the Biohazard framework, the Decontaminator frameworks, right? And I feel like they could have avoided any kind of questioning from me if the armor paint job was more like this. This is the problem. This is a problem I have, and I'm very willing to share this criticism, right? Because this weapon paint job isn't bad at all. And yet they chose to make the armor paint job very similar to the previous DLC, instead of making it like this, which is different from the previous DLC. That's kind of stupid. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're smart at all. I think they could have done a lot better through that specific lens, And it kind of annoys me that they didn't do that, because that would have just been better. I feel like no one can really deny that. I want to see what people are saying. Look, someone's saying, what a letdown. Don't know how many people are really saying that. Did you not saw the previous DLCs? That's like to them, or are they saying that to like the other people in chat? Probably going to skip this one. That'll be the first for me. Yeah, this might be a thing. This might be the first DLC where they haven't, it's not quite up to par. Now, something that it did say is that the description will be updated after the premiere. The premiere is over, so that should have been updated. I was going to look to see if there's anything that can be gleaned from the background, and they haven't done this in a while, and I don't remember it being the case for the Season 1 DLC at all. And Season 3 was literally just like plague stuff in the background. Season 2, though, had the Nemesis in the background, which was actually our best look at it that we got up to that point. I wouldn't say that really tells us anything. Yeah, it's just I think it's very fair to not be particularly impressed. That armor framework, especially for engineer, that's like basically just exactly the same thing. I mean, come on, guys. Like, you can do better. I'm glad that the framework exists. I always wanted a, I didn't want it at first when I first saw the biohazard armor, but after I saw the blister bot Bosco framework, I definitely wanted a biohazard framework for the weapons. And it looks pretty decent. I wish maybe they would spec into the infected parts too. But yeah, it's not bad, but I can kind of just say this is one of the more underwhelming DLCs. Maybe the most underwhelming. I feel like that might end up being shared by most people. Now, I am going to briefly check Steam. I don't see it. Maybe they won't have anything here yet. Not yet. I'm not going to end the video yet. I think I'm going to pause and wait for something to change, maybe a Steam post or for the actual description to change, because that might include some important information about Season 4. I'm not sure. Either way, yeah, this DLC is definitely not amazing. And that's not too unfair to say, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, they could have done better, really. Alright. Anyway, so far the description hasn't been updated, and couldn't find it on the store page either, like the Steam store or anything like that. But I thought we could take a look at the actual frameworks like this, because this shows all of them. I think there's one thing hidden down there. Anyway, so we've got Breach Cutter here, which looks kind of weird. I can't tell if they've made it skinnier than normal. Yeah, I can't tell. Kraken actually looks quite interesting. It's quite a significant change of shape there, I think, and like a big ring around there and a big tank in the middle might be quite interesting. Minigun, well, the minigun usually gets a pretty good going over DLCs. This one doesn't look too interesting. It's what we saw in the key art, to be fair. We've already seen this one quite prominently. Nothing wrong with it, though. On the head, it kind of just looks like mechanized, to be honest. And the flamethrower doesn't really look like anything. Hurricane looks kind of interesting, although I think it's just the front, but it is still kind of weird. Sludge Pump can't really tell. The Dragon Smart Rifle look pretty generic too. I don't mind the overall profile that he's giving the weapons. I think it's kind of neat. M1000 definitely gets definitely gets some of that. It actually does look quite different. Doesn't look too like crazy. Just doesn't, it's almost doesn't look quite like the M1000. Warthog looks, well, it kind of looks like the Warthog. I think that's EPC. So that tells you how much it's changed. I think it's EPC. PGL, this is actually kind of interesting. Like the sort of the barrel, I guess, looks quite different with the PGL. I sort of like the detailing here, this red circle. Not sure if that's a button or something. GK2, yeah, some of these aren't really particularly interesting. Not many of them are, actually. So there's, I swear there's a weapon hidden down there. To the left, bottom left. What is that? What am I missing? Okay, hold on. It's probably because there's a Zukov. Wait, what's that? Because surely that's. Oh, is it the coil gun? It must be the coil gun. I was forgetting about one of these is the coil gun. And it's probably that thing to the left. And I think that might be the boomstick actually. That's the Burt. That's the Sabata. That's a Zukov. So down there must be the Bulldog. Huh. Okay. I feel like I know at least one thing is hidden down there, but it feels like there's a gun missing. Either way, yeah. I mean, on second look, not particularly impressive at all. Actually, Tyler's here. Here's Tyler's thoughts.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to buy it.
That's fine. And you've said look, if you want it, get Tom to buy it. If you want it, I will buy it. I will, but I will be critical of it too. And this is not. We won't be alone, Tyler. I don't know if you would keeping an eye on the chat. I don't know.
No,
a couple people said, yes, this ain't it.
This is not a DLC paint job. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so I want to just break it down a little bit, right? So the framework's fine. I think the weapon paint job isn't bad either. But like I said, it should be it should be better than fine. And that armor paint job is lazy as balls.
Yeah, no, this ain't it.
I look at it. It's just the biohazard pack, but without the armor. As in, it's just flipped. It's literally just like the other half of it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously you get the new framework, and I said, I think the actual weapon paint job separate from it is not bad at all. But it's also very similar to remember the splattered one from season 3 that you got in the past.
I think they're all not that good. I think every single part of it is like at best mid.
I said the main point I drove home was like, this is fine, but this is the worst DLC so far. Because it's just very underwhelming, especially compared to the last one, and that's not an excuse either, you know. But it's not like the worst thing in the world. At the same time, this is the only stuff they're charging for, so I think we are allowed to be critical of it. Very much so.
It looks like it's just builder's choice combined with like mil spec. It feels. Right.
I'm not getting mil-spec feels, but yeah, I mean, it's like not. I looked at the.
Have you actually looked like paused on the?
This is what I did. Yeah, I did this. I looked. Yeah, it's not that interesting. Honestly, the most interesting one to me is the hurricane because of the front of it.
Yeah, it's bubbly as hell. But literally, it is like, I don't know. It looks like default. They sometimes add green tubes, and they just like bubble parts of it.
Yeah, I'm more interested to see. Well, I'm automatically more interested to see the one in the cosmetic tree, because I know that it's probably not going to be this theme.
Because this looks like what would have been on there, right? Or we would have assumed that it would have been on there, but
this is why I was expecting it to be in there, because the precedent that's been set, or rather, the precedent that hasn't been set, is that this would be a thing, that we would get 2 DLCs of the same theme. That doesn't happen. That hasn't been a thing before, and it's happened now, and it's kind of disappointing. So it shows that it was never a good idea. It's the kind of thing you would put in the pass, right? Or the cosmetic tree, and you would do something more interesting for the DLC.
It's going to be a real F for this, because, like, as we were saying, I think is this the first time we've gotten a weapon DLC during seasons?
No. The first one, yeah, that was season 1. The first one was that, yeah.
Yeah,
and honestly, I wish we got that armor first of all. I want to point that out. Obviously, we never got that armor, but obviously we got the Waster framework in season 1 in the game, and then you got Robot Rebellion DLC, and that was fine. That's how it should be, or at least that's better than this, certainly.
Yeah, because literally you're going to be having this, and like the in-game free one doesn't even have to be that good to probably be it, and so like, you know, it's like it's gonna be a pretty big F if the free skin is like superior to this one.
I think it will be though, just on sheer novelty. Just because it's like, I saw also a thing like, I think people just kind of bit jaded about just like the colours and just sort of the theme a little bit. They're sort of a bit over it.
Like, it doesn't even look like they've touched the breach cutter. Like,
I can't tell the breach cutter actually. I think the cryo cannon is one of the more interesting ones too, just because of that big tank in the middle of it there. But
they barely even changed much of the cryo cannon, because the cryo cannon already has those pipes.
That's true, it does.
I don't know. It just like the ones that the smaller the gun, I wouldn't say better, but the more noticeable it is. Literally, all of those the Zukov, the Burt, the Sabata, like all the small ones, they look like water pistols. Like
they do. Hold on, I said something. I was looking through this, and I think there's a weapon missing. From this picture, right? Try and find the. Okay, I don't actually. So look, I'm looking at the little ones. That's EPC, right? That's EPC.
EPC is next to the broomstick. I think that one is under the cryo cannon.
No, I think that's the PGL, because of you can see the thing on top, the sight going up.
Right, yeah.
That's PGL. Yeah. But look, so yeah, Stubby is always quite easy to identify because of that thing. Sabata, because it's tiny. That I think is the Burt,
Yeah.
the Zukovs, and I think that makes that
There's
the
no-
boomstick. But where's the coil gun and the bulldog? I know there's at least one thing hidden down here, but there's not enough room for the coil gun down there, or like both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they showed it in when they were scanning through. Can't even see that it's even like kind of hidden over to the left.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm giving us free reign to shit on this if we feel like it. Basically, is what I'm saying, because doesn't. We don't. This is not this kind of thing we should be like, "Woo, it's great," because it's paid.
It's cosmetics. it's. I mean, like I'm sure some people like this, but as far as both of us kind of could tell, and other people, it's kind of ass. And you compare it to the other DLC weapon ones, and it's. I mean, it's not right. I think that's the issue, though, is that it's about as good as the pass skins, right? But the pass skins are really good, generally. Like compared to the old skins, they do a lot more. So
I think they are. I know you're not hot on Milspec or Builder's Choice, but I really like Milspec like a lot.
Yeah, like it still is kind of does more than like the first couple DLCs, right? Is it Megacorp, or Dark Future?
Well,
Whichever
those
ones-
two were together. Those two came out together. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like
it's still probably this does more than that. I wouldn't say it's better than that.
I just feel that they could have done more though, right? As in, because the reason why I wanted when I first saw like the biohazard armor, which I like the biohazard armor, but then I thought I don't know if like a framework for this would be that interesting. But then I got like the blister bot, like Bosco framework.
Yeah,
and he's like slightly infected.
Corrupted.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Some kind of infection, or at least maybe even something completely different. Like, why not shake it up? Like, do something, maybe do something smaller as well, and that means you could price it lower. But I was thinking like something that includes maybe like infected skin for your dwarf or something, or infected armor, or just or make the frameworks have infected like parts on them or something like that.
Yeah, because like I don't know, the sterile look can only bring you so far. Because let's be realistic, what's cooler, being sterile or being infected?
Well, hold on.
Right.
I think we should also not. This isn't like a to be fair thing, but I should point out I don't blame them for wanting to complete the set, right? To have a counterpart, a matching framework for the armor. But But based on what we've seen before, it should have been and would have been in the cosmetic tree. So you still could have done it, right?
Yeah. Plus, I would argue that Builder's Choice already worked pretty well because it was.
It did actually. I agree. It
lovely.
does.
It was like that minigun looks very similar to the Builder's Choice one.
Oh no, it doesn't look similar to the Builder's Choice minigun. Not for the minigun specifically, Tyler. I wouldn't say that. This is like Builder's Choice minigun is very bulky. That's the thing. This is not. It's quite similar to mechanized though for the minigun, certainly. Yeah.
I guess it's actually like really empty in some areas. I don't know. It's just a bit. It is. I think an example is I think they somehow made the M1000 not look good.
That's something. Actually, I disagree with that. Actually, I weirdly like the M1000 in this case. It looks less like itself. You know, it doesn't look crazy, but it doesn't look as much like the same type of weapon. If you know what I mean. I don't know. It doesn't. It looks more like a modern semi-auto rifle than like a bolt action thing. I don't know. Something weird about it. Anyway, I keep checking for like them to update this, like like the store like actual item page, but that's not there yet either. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a bit of a cop out, ever so slightly. It's just like we had this idea. Still, let's just do this, I guess. But then it's just like, what's the one in the actual game going to be? What's the free one going to be? You know, probably better. Better. Oh well. All right. I'm not going to wait around any longer for them to update this stuff because I don't know. It doesn't happen. It's probably not going to include anything anyway. That's actually important. Oh well. Look, you can't have it good forever. You can't have the DLCs. They're bound to blunder at least once.
At least it's only our opinion.
No. This is going to be the closest as well to a blunder because I've at least seen a couple of people say things. and that's already the most disappointed people have been on
I'm
average.
scrolling
Even if it's
through
not
the-
much, it's still going to be the most disappointed people have been, even if it's not a
I'm scrolling
majority.
through comments, and so far I've seen quite a few people say they like it. One guy said the weakest DLC yet, but he's outnumbered. It's not a common opinion.
Yeah, but the point is that really doesn't apply to any of the previous DLCs. Though that's why this is kind of a thing. You know, the fact that people are saying that at all.
Yeah.
I even saw a couple of people when I switched over to the dev stream, and they were like, "Yes, DLC's a bit disappointing."
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you tell them.
Yeah. All right. Cool. There's a lot of comments. Okay.